and praise to another being, that's a reflection of you.
Yeah, so that's where I was at with link in bio. It was like,
yeah, but you know you got to think about how many people actually
but I'm gonna tell you why I felt why I had a little problem with it.
I think a lot of people. I think that was very powerful. I think that was very powerful. Mhm.
I felt like
because I had a lot of people fucking with me.
Peace.
And that was a big shock, you know.
Peace.
It was a wake up call, and I wanted to do it in the most humble way.
I mean, see, there's no.
I was really conflicted. Like, I wanted to tag him and tag his whatever you call it, tag.
But I feel like that's not.
But then I didn't want to do it because I didn't want like I'm just trying to get it from him.
Well, I mean, so if I were to look at it from the outside perspective, you know what I'm saying?
But it's like I was just trying to focus on the knowledge, focus on the message.
I know, but
feel me?
but the knowledge and message teaches you to show your life, not to hide. And so if I were to look at it from an outside perspective, you know, all I see is that you just redirected people to his page. But you not showing people why they should watch the video.
Right.
Like they go to his page and they see link in bio and that's it, and it's like, oh, why should I go watch this?
Because this dude's a motherfucking
real dude. You say that, but that has nothing to do with everybody else and how they think. You think that, but what about everybody else?
Anybody who comes into contact with me is gonna know.
I think that's ignorant. I'm sorry, I have to call that out because I feel like you can't speak for everybody else. You can only speak for yourself. You know, you have specific energies that literally make you think that way. And if you understand astrology, so how can you just say anybody that comes in contact with you will go and watch the information, let alone understand it, let alone apply it? You're just gonna assume that everyone that comes
you
in
have
contact
to
with you is gonna do that.
you got to put in your bio like exactly like how the knowledge has affected you.
Or you gotta just show it through your journey. Like they see your page and all that's on your page is link in bio.
Yeah.
And then they click on the link and it's someone else's page.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the guy is very passionate about what he speaks. First of all they have to have an attention span to sit there through a long ass video.
Yeah.
And have someone like yell at them how important it is for them to apply this information without having them have cognitive dissonance, which everyone has, that they have to get past. You know, like you have to take so much into account. And I'm a Virgo, so I'm like, yo, like, I study people my whole life. Like, people they don't think like me. So I'm not just gonna assume that they're gonna do exactly what I did. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it took me a long time to get past my own fucking cognitive dissonance. You know, it took me a long time to get past the fact that my family is just my subconscious mind.
It took me a minute. And
you know, you have these people that are coming straight from Babylon, and the next second they're in carbonation. You think they're gonna sit there and watch the whole thing just because you said link in bio? Like that? I think that's not authentic. I think that's not being real with yourself. You know, you got to be real with the fact that not everybody's not like you. I don't know if that's what you did. If you saw someone link in bio and clicked on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this guy's real, and you watched the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what happened to me, bro. Because like for me, the chosen will feel chosen. You choose yourself, like you guys said, right? So for me, it only took like, as I said, I was a traveler of the internet. Like I was traveling from YouTube. You know, I was watching hella YouTube videos. So it was like, I went through the conscious community. I went through the whole, you know, test to reach the truth because I was seeking. So it just took one video, you know. I just saw one video of Chief and I was like, automatically, like, this guy is the truth, you know. And I just started watching ever since then. It's like a year ago. So it's like, it literally only took one video for me.
And it really depends. Like honestly, it really
that's
just
what's
depends.
up then. So that makes sense to why I should have Lincoln.
I'm not telling you
All they
to
gotta
do whatever the hell who you want to do. What I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like you're, like how well you think that helps. Like you shouldn't just like leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Because like for me, for instance, I understand that you know it took me like.
Dude, this getting his
like 4 months, like literally like 4 to 5 months to really understand the information and like go out into the unknown. You have a lot of people who are just not ready. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, you know, it's a frequency that you vibrate to. You know what I'm saying? Like for me to even find this frequency, you literally have to ask the universe. You have to have the intention that you want to know the truth. So anybody's gonna see it, and then they might not have literally intention to focus to one. Like I was like, yo, like fuck all this alien shit, fuck all this flat Earth shit,
Right.
fuck all this conspiracy shit.
Right.
I want to know the fucking truth.
Right.
And right, like literally, like 3 days after I said that and had that intent, that powerful message, that intent from my being, I found Master Chief, and from there, like, and I seen it on the side video too. It wasn't even like you know, on one of the videos. It was like one of the suggested.
I kept seeing I kept seeing Chief on like honorable message. I was like,
yeah, but
because I was sleeping. I was sleeping at the time. I was sleeping, so I wouldn't. But then I was like, okay, this video keeps coming to me. Like clearly, the truth is for me because it's chasing me, right?
Yeah, and
so I clicked on it.
Yeah,
and
that shows the intent. Like you have to be. You have so to know the knowledge is to understand the knowledge, and you understand that frequency, vibration, energy. Like people have to have the frequency of thought to even vibrate to this type of message. You know what I'm saying? So how many people that come into contact with you genuinely and have the intent of wanting to know the truth and doing the right thing? You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just wanting to
like as you say, like you as an individual with your specific energies do not meet random entities for no reason. I feel the same way too. I feel the same exact way too. I feel like everybody I meet, I'm either trying to learn something or I'm trying to teach them something.
It's both. It's literally just both. Because, like, first of all, it's a common exchange. You have to have a mutual exchange.
Yeah.
So I meet people, right? And I see how I'm there to help them, but I'm also see how I'm there to learn from them. And a lot of times I learn from them quick. I'm a fast learner. So I'm aware. I'm like, all right, this guy's teaching me this. All right, cool. Let me just learn that real quick. Yada, yada. And let me try to teach them. And then they're in the disillusion that they have to keep teaching me. And I'm like, like, what?
Right, yeah.
And then that's when I move on, because I'm like, yo, like, because you're not learning anything. You stagnant. Yeah. And then you're just going to stay there. I'm like, all right, I got to keep moving.
Because for me, you can never know enough. You know, you can't, I mean, I know I am everything, but it's like I'm like still working to, because like I feel like I know a specific amount of knowledge, but it's like I feel like I'm more like type shit. You know, I feel like.
Well, you are like the universe is expensive. First of all, you have this whole journey of like learning yourself, because everything is gonna show you yourself. Right. Everything's gonna check you too. Like if you're in the wrong, you got to be aware to see that. You know. What I'm saying? Listen. I'm a Virgo. Like I don't like to feel like I'm wrong. You know. I like to know that I'm right all the time. And I hated the fact that I was like studying all this conspiracy shit and like flat Earth shit, and I couldn't explain anything. I was like, no, but this is what I seen in this video. Look at this video.
No, because I could explain it. Like when I saw something, I was like, okay, because like I've been searching the web for so long. It's like when I was, if you say physically in Babylon, if you could say, like, because I'm not mentally right now, I'm in the tropics, but physically, like, I'm in Babylon. But when I was with my past lives, I was like not living there. I was living in the internet, because we have 3 worlds, right? Yeah. Babylon, internet, and nature. Mm-hmm. So like I was literally living in the internet.
That's a fact.
You know, so.
And you know, I was talking about the fucking information. Oh yeah. So it was just I hated to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I hated to just speak on shit that I truly didn't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like when I realized that I was just putting shit on Facebook and trying to seem like I was smarter than everybody, or like trying to seem like, you know, I knew what was going on, and I really didn't. I began to retreat in a sense. I was like, wait, like I need to stop this. I need to stop just saying shit, because I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. You know? And so that's when I asked my universe. I was like, yo, like I set my intent. I was like, I need to know the truth. And, you know, I had many psychedelic experiences prior to that point, and which made me go to the conspiracies and shit like that. But then I found Master Teacher, and literally all his information just explain all the experiences that I had.
Exactly.
And so I was like, all right, cool. This is like, I realized that I found this guy based on my intent. You know, I realized that I created this being, you know, reflection of myself because of my intent. I'm knowing the truth. We all gathered our intent. This is why this being is here in this plane, because he's to show us what we asked for. And so to give praise to that is to give praise to yourself for asking yourself to create something like, create someone like that will show you what you asked for.
Right.
And so, what was the topic?
Honoring your enlightener.
Yeah,
That's
what
what
it really means to honor.
Yeah, like, oh, is that, I thought we were talking about, yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah. Oh, this whole thing is to honor your enlightener, you know? Honor, because we just wanna give thanks to the Honorable Master Chief Eligio the Christ.
I mean, I literally felt crazy as hell. Like, all of society made me feel like crazy. Like, I just, it's funny because I guess you could say I fit in because I'm just a mirror for my environment. And so, like, just bouncing through all my situations growing up, I was fitting in, but I never, like, my soul never felt like it fit in, truly. And, you know, towards the end of my Babylonian life, I felt like I was going crazy. Even my best friends, like, told me that I was going crazy. There was a time where I was just being harassed by, like, Babylon. I guess it just seen the energy within me. They seen the power within me. And so it convicted them to, you know, gather together. There was literally like 40 to 60 people, like, outside my balcony just screaming at me. And I had just a large crowd of people just following me. And, you know, I tried to express that to my friends, and they called me crazy. And then on top of being harassed, so after that, on top of being harassed, you know, I was then hearing shit. But that's just me getting in tune with the energies around me. And so I felt vibrations, and I equated it to what they were thinking, and I found out that I was just reading their minds. And so moving forward, you know, I want to say how truly grateful I am to be able to find Master Teacher, to be able to put out the intent to even find that Master Teacher out. I want to say how grateful I am for myself, you know, to be able to perceive that part of myself, you know, that can show me the way, that has taught me, you know, about all of my experiences in the past, that has helped me rationalize all my experiences so that I wouldn't put myself in a mental asylum or fucking commit suicide, because, like, you know, life can get overwhelming, especially if you don't know what's going on. And, you know, I just want to express how truly grateful I am to you know, essentially be saved, like, to save myself, you know, to have my higher self save me. And so, you know, that I learned a lot. Literally when I first found him, I think I just sat there for, like, I sat in my room for about, like, 4 months. Just binge watching every fucking day.
Eating watermelon, watching that shit.
Just binge watching. Nah, but I want to be real with myself right now, like a real nigga moment.
Yeah.
Even when I was binge watching, I was still doing Babylon shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't
of
perfect,
course.
You know, like I was in a situation where, like, I grew up and I never really learned how to take care of myself. And so, like, I was just kind of like, you know, accepting whatever came to me. And I was in Babylon. I was in my Babylon family's house. And, you know, they were eating meat and shit. And, you know, that made me sick. And the fact that I was learning about it and learning about how truly sick it made me, I was getting more sick. You know, and then that would stress me out. And then I have my Mars is in Cancer, which makes me make decisions, impulse decisions off of, like, how I feel. And so I would go smoke tobacco just to, like, calm myself down, I guess temporarily ground myself, but it was still harming me. There would be a lot of times where I would just smoke weed, even though I knew I wasn't supposed to, because I knew it was going to give me anxiety. And I would just feel like I'm dying because my heart is beating so fucking fast. And when I was smoking weed, like, as I was learning this information, like, I was tripping every single time I was smoking. It wasn't even like I was getting high. I was like, no, I was taking a psychedelic every single time I was smoking.
Mm.
And as I was watching The Knowledge, all while I was doing this, I was still binge watching The Knowledge, and it was like Carbonation was just speaking directly to me. Like they were saying all the messages and saying
Right.
it directly to me.
Right.
And so I was trying to, I was trying to get out of my rut, and then at the same time, I was in a long distance relationship, which I was using as motivation because I don't really like to be alone. My energies don't really like to be alone, and I guess somewhat it was motivation, but the relationship I was in wasn't necessarily healthy for me because it showed me that I wasn't loving myself. And while I was in it, it just showed me a bunch of times that I wasn't loving myself, and I was trying to deny it. I was trying to make it work, but it didn't work. I guess I was the one. I feel like I was the one doing all the like the healing in the relationship and like wanting to make it work, but it just didn't work out that way. And then I guess I would say like maybe 3 to 4 months ago is when I actually left my house because I was there for so long. Like I felt like I didn't know what the fuck. Like I felt like I needed money to do this, to do that. I needed all this shit, like to go. Babylon just had my mind in the grip, and so it came down to I was like, yo, I realized in the last few days that I was just sucking in everybody's thoughts, and it was driving me crazy because I already had low vibrational thoughts, and I was like, yo, I can't be here, and like literally late that night, like I hit up a friend and I like began my journey. I like went into the unknown, and I hit up a friend and I stayed at his place, and it's funny because he also, when I got high around him, he resembled the demon, like the devil in that sense. Like for some reason his energy was so demonic, and I always questioned myself why I even hung around this guy, and it was also just a lesson for myself because I tried to get a job, and I had enough money to get my passport, and I blew my money on tobacco and weed and bullshit, and I think I was in a tribe on Instagram, and the first time I got in there, Caliber brought me my traveling backpack, and I was like, oh shit, like I started feeling the love from the community, and that's because the reason why he brought that for me was because I was just learning the lesson that I didn't need this person that I was staying with, and he was very toxic for me, and I was gonna just like I was gonna essentially move on. Like the universe was gonna take away what no longer served me. I just didn't know what was gonna come next. But I always sat there. I was like, something's gonna happen. Like something good is gonna happen for me learning my lesson here and not vibrating on this frequency anymore, and I'm vibrating past this. And then lo and behold, the last night, someone brought me a Uber to the airport, and then bought me a plane ticket to Texas. And then I went to Texas. I stayed with them. These people were still eating meat, but it was a lot better because I changed my mindset from like being poor and being around people that want to work for money to me needing what I need around me is support. What I need around me is people that will accept my way of life and not make me work and shit like that. And so when I put that intent out there, that's essentially what I got. Like a friend of mine, he made a lot of money, so he just it was weird because he was just buying me all this shit, all this Babylon shit. And I knew it because it wasn't when I needed it, but it was like I kind of went with it because like he was buying it from me, and it was just I had all this shit that I didn't need. You know what I'm saying? And so as time went on, I was learning my lessons. I was putting out little downloads on my Instagram, just talking about my experiences, talking to myself, so I could keep myself in check. And he had a wife that was trying to do shit for me, but she was very controlling. She was kind of ratchet and ghetto and loud, and she got annoyed like coming home and seeing someone like in her house not working and shit like that. So she like tried to make me get a job, and I got a job, and then I worked that shit for like 2 days, and I quit right after that. And I was like, fuck this, because I'm not supposed to be working. I'm not supposed to be following I can't follow oneness and separation at the same time. I can't serve God and money at the same time. So, you know, I made this decision to continue to steadfast and to be in the truth and to live righteously. And, you know, but at the same time, I was still, I didn't have, you know, what I needed. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have, you know, the healthy foods. I didn't have just the option to eat vegan all the time. I didn't have the option to go outside and be in the sunlight all the time. You know, I didn't have a place to set up my tent. You know, and so I realized that I had to change my environment. And so as days went on, I was gonna get kicked out of that place, quote unquote, kicked out. But it's just my universe moving me because I'm vibrating higher now. And so they got me on the last day when I was about to leave. I got an Uber to another situation, I should say. And in this situation, I was with two reflections that are quote unquote on the movement. You know, his name is Reflection Blue, but he went on Young Pharaoh that day. And the thing is, it's funny because I told him to go on it because I wanted him to say his experience, but I also want him to look back at what he did wrong so he can see it. Because, you know, he was telling me about everything about his experience at Carbonation and how, like, everybody was acting and how Chief treated him, quote unquote. But it's like, you know, my thing is, he understood that all is mental. And so if all is mental, he wasn't vibrating at the frequency of carbonation. You know, a lot of people go to carbonation just assuming that that's what they want and that, oh, they just want to go there just to go there and not knowing that that's a whole separate organism that you got to be a part of, you know, when you get there. You're not just going to go there and just be yourself. You can be yourself, but you're not just going to go there and, like, do things that go against that organism. You know what I'm saying? And so he went there thinking the same thing and, you know, doing his own thing. And, you know, he had to leave. And yeah, he didn't have any money and stuff like that, but he could have manifested a better situation. Like, he could have manifested something that was conducive for where he was at mentally in his journey. But instead, he looked at it in a negative light, which had him vibrate into situations that he didn't need to be in. So he did that to himself. And, you know, but besides that, you know, I started, when I was there, it was an upgrade from my last place because they were eating healthy, eating vegan, and the food was so amazing. But yet lo and behold, they still had the mindset of, oh, we need money, oh, we gotta do this for ourselves. They were so like separated, and he kept like blaming other people, and he didn't even want to deal with other people, and it was just like, you know, he was trying to bring that on me. And like we were talking about getting a job, and yeah, I did agree when I was on the phone with him before getting there. But when I got there, I realized that, you know, that's not me. And I thought that they were like they were divine reflections. I thought they were gonna understand, but you know, and instead of understanding, they tried to control me. And I ain't like that. You ain't about to control me, especially if you're not doing what I want to do. You're not, or what I feel like we should all be doing. You're not gonna control me into doing something that I feel is not right. And so, you know, I vibrated away from them, and I ended up in another situation in Texas, nearby, pretty much same area, where so I vibrated away from them, and I vibrated back to like a meat eater. And it's funny because she was more kind than they were. You know, she was more understanding than they were. And by me being there, I was able to simply just focus on the knowledge, focus on myself, kind of set my intention straight, set my focus on which angle I needed it to be in, and then, you know, kind of just send my energies out there. And at this time, I was in a new tribe, and there was about like 18 people in there, but I was realizing that, you know, what I truly need is to be around reflections of myself that remind me that I'm God, that also have the energy that I'm lacking, which is fire. And fire is like passion, like manifestation, getting shit done. I lack that. You know, because I'm analytical, I think too much, and I'm emotional as well, because I have water, air, and earth. And so I lacked fire, and I needed fire. And so that's when Buddha came down. His name was Buddha at the time, but now his name is God. That's when he joined me in my journey. Literally, on the last day of me being there, he drove down to me. He drove 12 hours straight to me. And I realized that when you come together, manifestations happen a lot quicker. And so we went to a national forest. I think it was on Christmas, right? Something like that. Christmas or New Year's.
Yeah.
And when we went there was no workers there. So we slept in our tent in the forest, and we had to leave the next day because I think it was the next day or 2 days. We stayed for like 2 days.
We stayed there for like 2 days.
And we had to leave after that because they wanted us to pay like $9 a day, something like that. And we just didn't really like value money like that. We didn't have that. We weren't trying to do that. We weren't trying to spend that. What's for free? We weren't trying to pay for what's free.
Yeah, we sort of camped out anyways because we are native to the earth plane, you know, so you can't own land. Mm-hmm. So.
And then after that, we drove back to the area, like to around the area where I was staying at before he got there, and I was feeling a little stagnant because I feel like there should be some movement, something should be happening, and we were gonna drive straight to the border that night, just based off that stagnant feeling. But instead, I decided to broadcast out, like, who's in the Texas area, which of my reflections are out there, like, really trying to live this life. I want to link up because, the more we're stronger together. And, after that, that's when Lucifer hit us up. I think his name was his name Laguna?
His name was Lagoon at the time.
Yeah. And so Lucifer hit us up. We video chatted. We talked about our intent and, like, just talked a little bit about ourselves. And he was like, yeah, bet, just drive down. He's like, yeah, I could drive down tomorrow, tonight. We like, tonight, the fuck?
Yeah.
And we just left that same, like, second. And, we went there, and it was amazing because we camped out, in our tents. We slept in, like, a thunderstorm, which was kind of cool. I think around that time was when I really, like, broke it off from my ex-direct, that long-distance relationship.
Yeah.
And then I needed some, he helped me get clarity on that the next day. Lucifer, shout out to him. I love myself. And we were all kind of just talking, we were all kind of just, talking about our lives, our experiences. The first day we went on top of this mountain, we had like a master build for like 3 hours, which was insane. And we kind of just grew closer, as we began to really just have these downloads, and we understood that we wanted the same thing. I essentially want to build a divine council, that like a group of people that want to take on the issues that the children of God may face objectively, and objectively figure out a solution for everything, and so we can live in tune, in harmony, and progress and evolve and ascend, and just bring balance and harmony on the planet. And so that's also what he wanted to do, and so our energies kind of just clicked, and we became the 3 wise men.
Real shit.
And we then like shortly after that, it was gonna be like the rain was coming in. It was gonna rain for like 4 days, something like that.
Yeah.
And by knowing that, we realized that we needed shelter. I was thinking about shelter, and lo and behold, we manifested a house, an entire house.
Right.
And so we were hanging out in that house, and we were just getting builds. We were just growing closer. We were talking. We were just elevating the consciousness, elevating our progression. And letting go of what no longer served us, getting over anything that we felt was like holding us back from moving forward. And I guess the last day we were waiting for Lucifer to manifest money for his passport. And on that day he got money for his passport. The cops showed up. And someone else called the cops on us because they didn't know that the seller of the house allowed us to stay in the house. and so we were detained for like half an hour.
Misunderstanding.
Of course. And so we were detained for like half an hour, but you know, God and I were sitting in the back of the cop car. we were like laughing and singing and shit, but we were like thinking about, this all had to happen because we're vibrating so high that like the universe is like, yo, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And so in my head, I'm like, we not going nowhere with these niggas. Like we about to
Exactly.
They about to let us go. We about to pack all of our shit up and we about to leave.
Not for 1 second did I like have like doubt, because like I knew, like, you know, God's children, we live by the laws, 42 laws of Ma'at. So like we don't live by the laws of society.
Honestly, they just obey us, and it's funny because like right before then we were packing up right before they came. But we were like, yo, we need flashlights. And then they came and they had flashlights. So after they detained us and then they let us go, they literally came inside the house with the flashlights. And they were pointing flashlights. I was like, yo, point it over here. Like, because we needed a light to pack up all of our shit. So in a way, we just manifested them to help us pack all of our shit just so we could leave. And so we drove to, where did we pick you up from now?
Not Oklahoma, right? No, it was.
Now.
Is he asleep?
Yeah.
Now.
I was gonna say Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I don't really remember. We drove there to pick him up so we could add more reflections to the organism, which was cool. We were only there for like a few minutes, and then we headed out here to, you know, Cali. And we realized that, you know, from manifesting a house, we like bumped up from a house manifestation to a house and a farm. And so we got here, when we got to Cali, this is my first time being in Cali, mind you. You know, I've always wanted to come to Cali. And, you know, Cali was just so beautiful driving through because there's so much green, you know. Yeah, it's still in Babylon, you know, and I guess it's still sprayed with chemtrails and there's been fires and shit going on, but like Cali, like when I got here, it was just a different environment. Like I just felt 10 times better than I did in Babylon, just seeing all the green.
Yeah, like it's, the oxygen is a lot better because me coming from Georgia, Atlanta, I came from Conyers, where there's like, you know, we hardly get sun. You know, it's more rain, chemtrails. So it's like, I had to get closer to my mind. You know, so. You know, because I have a lot of fiery energy, you know, so I've got Leo ascendant, I've got Sag sun in the 4th house, and I've got an Aries moon. This Aries moon makes me very impulsive, so like I just make rash decisions. So when I don't know, but like I do know, but like a couple nows ago, is like I decided to just use that impulsiveness to drive 12 hours to a reflection of mine that reminds me that I'm God, you know, because like if you master teacher you know, teaches us like our environment sort of affects our behavior, our epigenetics. So like people who, you know, your subconscious is what you're seeing. You know, you are like everything you see is what you are. So I had to get away from the meat eaters. You know, I had to get away from all the negative energies around me, and just, you know, be with people with healthy EMFs. You know, healthy EMFs. So because I know at the end of the day, to truly do the will of God, is you have to be a peopletarian, you know. So, you know, and my intent is just to do the right thing, you know, and, you know, walk this righteous path, you know.
And kind of talk about how we met, like the first video shot we had.
Yeah, right. Because
help me with my astrology.
Yeah. So we met on Instagram. Well, most of God's children are gonna meet online, because we know each other through the Christ, you know, real recognize real. But actually, there is some kind of frauds out there. But we God's children know. So it's like I decided to do we originally had our first tribe. It didn't go well because a lot of people wanted to do it their own way and not stick with the way Chief had shown us. So
Yeah, and they like, a lot of people like to bash Chief or like, some people will go to Chief's room and not be there to learn. They be there to talk and say shit and
Right.
then get blocked. And then they come back to the tribe and like complain about why they got blocked.
right,
And like, someone else went on Chief's live, like called in and started like telling Chief like shit, like just started like telling Chief shit. And like the live was for Chief to ask a question and you're supposed to answer the question, not
Right.
tell him shit.
right,
And so they would make a video and then come back to us with it and like try to portray Chief in a certain way. And I wasn't having that shit. Like
Yeah.
I saw right through that shit. I'm
right,
like, bro, what? I had to challenge him real quick because I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really took the information, the knowledge, and applied it, truly, you would truly see the information in your life. You would truly
Right.
know how real this is. Like people probably see us right now and they're like, oh, y'all just following what he says. Y'all some mindless ass people. Like blah blah blah. And it's like, I left my house. Like I left the comfort of my Babylon mindset to go into the unknown, just to find out that all this shit was true.
right,
And that everything that society has hidden from me, I'm now living in, and I know that I'm God, and I realize that I'm God, and I perceive that I'm God. And so anybody that's behind in Babylon talking about like how mindless I am, they're missing the fuck out. Cause it's like you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, like point blank period. My lowest self is a fucking idiot.
right,
And this information is for you to implement and like apply it to your life so you can become God, so you can live peacefully, blissfully, so you don't have to fucking sit there and hate or stress out about your boring ass life, doing the same thing over and over. You're in a paradigm that's not even yours.
right,
You think it's yours. That's why you're an idiot. And that pisses me off because like people think that like we're not thinking for ourselves, and it's like we can only think for ourselves. But like no, excuse me, no one thinks for themselves. If you understand the mind and that it's a high consciousness, there's no thinking for yourself because there's no just you. Like you're on a frequency of thought that have thoughts that everybody on that frequency of thought also have, and so y'all share thoughts. And that's how consciousness works. Like, and you see, and like when I say that, people are gonna listen to it like, oh, this guy think he know what he talk. Like, you're an idiot. Like I just explained consciousness to you, and you literally threw it out of the window. It went through one ear and out the other because you're an airhead. Like there's just nothing in there, and I guess just nothing works. And I'm like, I feel bad for you because your astrological energies have you blocked, have your heart hardened. And we have our Babylonian parents that say that we're lost and we have our hearts hardened and like we're following some cult leader, and it's just like, first of all, you're in, like people just don't they wanna point their finger so bad that they don't see the shit that's behind them that they're in. They're like, oh, who's over there? Like there is no over there, my nigga. Like it's only where you're at. And you're not paying attention to where you're at and all the fuck shit that's happening around you. So you wanna pay attention to all the good shit that's happening around me. You're trying to find all the little bad things in it. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, back to the story. So yeah, we went to Cali. We manifested a house and a farm. We linked up with Plantboy and Akasha. Plantboy's name is now Compassion of the Christ, which is dope as fuck.
Plantboy.
Peace.
Peace.
Mm-hmm. And so, we've all just kind of been coming together as a family. Honestly, it's been really blissful, honestly. Like, I've never been so happy. Like, the more I progress on this journey, the happier I get. And I'm just like, yo, I've never been this happy. Yo, I've never been this happy. Yo, I've never been this happy. Because it's like, there's really no stress.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if something were to arise within any of us that is like disharmony,
it's within the organism. Yeah.
Yeah, we address it. Because we have the energies to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. A lot of people like to hold on to shit and like go hide with it and like tuck it away, and that's how it keeps coming up. First of all, let me explain the consciousness again. You ready? Okay, so you live in your mind, and if you tuck shit away and you don't deal with it, it'll pop up in your mind Because you put it away in your mind, it'll pop up in your mind, in front of you. And if you don't see it in your mind, it'll pop back up in your mind. It'll keep bouncing back and forth between subconscious and conscious. Subconscious and conscious. So pay attention, and everything is a lesson. And that's how you move forward in your progression. You know, a lot of people are waiting for money or waiting to do something. It's like they're making a plan to go do something, and that's not what the universe has for them. Because you're gonna get there, and you're gonna vibrate the fuck out of there because you realize that that's not where you're supposed to be. And maybe that's what you need to learn, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to go experience that. But, you know, I decided to just go out on a journey, you know, see what the fuck happens. And then I realized that it's the best thing ever. Like, because first of all, once you realize you're God and you hold that thought, and you understand that you will always be taken care of, you literally always be taken care of. I literally left my house with nothing, no money. And all the shit that I manifested, like, is just like around me. Like on my journey, you know, yeah, we came together as an organism, but from where I'm coming from, my perspective, I left my house like a few months ago. Like I was by myself. I was scared of being by myself. You know, that's why I had a peace, guys.
Peace, God.
Peace.
Peace, gods.
That's a kasha, lovely. So where I'm coming from, I had nobody, you know. That's why I had a long distance relationship, just so I can have somebody to talk to, you know. And it was scary, you know, and I didn't know what was gonna go on. I didn't know what was gonna happen most of the time, but that's the beauty of it, because my higher self knew what was gonna happen. And all I had to do was stay true to myself and keep the pure intent of that I wanted to do good. All my intent was that while I was doing all that bad, I truly wanted to do good. I only wanted to do good. But I was only doing bad because I was stressed out. I was in Babylon. I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you know, I had all these add-ons to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Buddha added on to me. And then Lucifer added on to me. And then so it's not me. When I keep saying me got bigger.
Right.
So when Buddha added on to me, now we're me, both of us together. And then Lucifer, and then now, and then Plantboy and Akasha. So like, from where I'm coming from, it started because like I wouldn't be here. We probably wouldn't be together if I never left my house at that time. If I never picked up my unk and started walking into the darkness. You know what I'm saying? Because I was the light in that darkness. And so I want to give my utmost respect and praise to the most honorable Master Chief Eligio the Christ, for allowing me to pick up my unk and walk, for teaching me how to be God, for teaching me how to take control of my mind, for giving me my mind, for sparking my mind,
Facts.
for giving me life, everlasting life.
Facts.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say the same thing. That I was lost before I found Master Chief. I was really lost, and I'm kind of like the doubting Thomas. Like I really gotta like get the wisdom from the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's the truth. It's
right.
the truth.
Right. It is.
It's the truth. So I'm walking this path and just realizing more and more that this is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say at times I've been the doubtful, and but I just, you know, I keep coming back because it's the truth, because the truth is in me.
Right.
So I'm always gonna find the truth.
Right.
That's not even.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I feel like, you know, me being a Virgo, I play devil's advocate a lot. You know, like in the past, before I left my house, like I would always think about what could go wrong. That's the reason why I had those type of. That's the reason why I was in that environment, because whenever I was focused on doing the right thing, I had my family demons in my ear, like, no, you're not, you ain't shit, nigga, you're not about to go do that. And I would believe that because, you know, I played devil's advocate. I'm like, all right, this can go good, but what if this went bad? And my feelings will resonate with the worst first, and so that's what will play out. And so I said, fuck all that, and I'm gonna go out here and do it anyway. And I don't care if it, like, cause like, it got to the point where I was like, yo, I can't do this because I literally think that I'm gonna die if I like smoke one more fucking joint, or if I eat one more fucking piece of chicken.
Right.
Or like I literally thought that I was gonna die.
Chicken started to burn my eyes, yo. Like when they were cooking chicken, it started to burn my eyes, and I would have to leave the house whenever somebody was cooking meat. It got to that point. Like even if like, I think there was one time I ate, I think shrimp, even shrimp, like that shit fucked my stomach up. You know.
Like you talking about it gives me shivers. Oh my god, I can't believe I really like that shit. Like, we were joking around. This nigga said, we'll put some cheese on there. I like almost threw up. Like,
Yeah.
Fuck, you mean cheese? Like, yeah, but seriously, like I played devil's advocate, and I had to overcome that. That was my first challenge, for leaving Babylon. So there's a lot of people out there. Excuse me. There's a lot of reflections of myself out there that, want to do what's right, want to go out on the journey, but they feel like, first of all, the journey is the unknown. So if you think you know what's going to happen, then you're already in the wrong. That's number one. Number two, if you're still there because of the comfort of your environment, because you're like, yo, this feels comfortable, this feels nice, you're not supposed to be comfortable in Babylon. You're not supposed to be comfortable not being in your higher self, not being in the tropics. You're not supposed to be like that. So that's wrong. That's number two. Mm-hmm. Number three, you probably care about your family a lot, but you need to understand that is your subconscious mind. Like, you put that there for you to learn how to overcome. And then on top of that, you are them. So you're talking about you want to do things for them, you want to be there for them, you want to, help them. And it's like, yo, you're helping them by saving their soul, because you are them and you need to overcome the lessons that they didn't overcome. That's why you lived through their karma. You sat there and burned with them while they were burning in hell for not doing the right thing. That's and you learned about, oh shit, this is hell. Facts. And you're like, oh shit, that's me. These are me. Facts. And so I'm supposed to walk right through this because that's my past self. You're supposed to leave your past there burning. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not they're not gonna suffer forever. You know what I'm saying? If you understood that you take them along with you, because you are them. Yeah. Through your culture, right? Exactly. Yeah. When you go into the kingdom of hell, the kingdom of heaven. Excuse me. Sorry about that. When you get there, it's a complete bliss. You tap into them. The way you think is them. Like the way you speak is them. And so you're their higher self. You teach them how to live righteously. And on top of that, they're probably not going to learn it because they're destined to do that. That's why you are them. You live for them. And if you sit there and stay with them in the fire, then you're an idiot. I'm sorry, but that's just what's true. You're an idiot, and you stay in your lower self. You stay burning with your past self. You didn't learn the lessons that they didn't learn, that you were here to learn. Mm-hmm. Period. So you need to pick up your unk and walk. You need to realize that you're God. I know it's hard. I know it's scary. I know it's the unknown. But you are your subconscious mind. Everything around you is made for you. If you were not here to perceive it, it would not exist. So why are you sitting there like, oh, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen? It's all your mind. It's all only there because you see it. If you don't see it, it's not there anymore. It's there for you. It's there for you to learn from. It's there for you to overcome. It's there for you to manipulate with your mind. When you change your mind changes. Your environment changes, because your environment is your mind. And your intent, your mind is driven by your intent. So if you intend to do good solely, you have to be vulnerable with that intent and walk out on faith. You have to become meek, which means submissive. You can't try to control everything because you can't control anything. The only thing that controls everything is your being and how you respond, which means your intent. You can only control your intent, which controls everything. So if you want to control everything, control your intent.
Thanks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's truly all about intent. This is my mind, so there's absolutely no hiding anything.
That's a fact. Mm-hmm.
It's just that simple. There's no hiding anything. So vulnerability is the key. It is what it is. And until I completely make myself vulnerable, I'll just keep getting the same lessons. So why would I want to perpetuate that paradigm?
Facts.
No.
Facts.
And so I wanna kind of give you this one key, and then I can pass it on to someone else. But this is a gem, and I want you to remember this. So, intention is the key to ascension. Just remember that. Intention is the key to ascension. Only focus on your intent and how you respond. The universe doesn't give a fuck about what happens to you. It cares about how you respond to it. because whatever happens to you is in your mind, and you put that there for you to learn, for you to interact with, so you can overcome that. There's a lot of things that you hide in your mind that keeps happening to you, and the reason why it keeps happening to you is because you're not learning from it. You need to learn from it. You need to get out of your subjective feelings and be like, wait, what the fuck? Like pull yourself out of the situation real quick and look at it objectively. And be like, all right, why is this happening? What does this mean to me? This keeps happening over and over. So, oh, it's because I'm doing this. It's because I'm responding this way. Why can't I just look at it in this light? Like, why is this happening? Focus on the why and not what. That's where the true, like, level of frequency is. When you start focusing on the why instead of the what, because a lot of the frequency on lower self focuses on what happens. Like, oh, this is what you did. This is what they did. You know what I'm saying? And this is what you did to me, instead of focusing on why. Why did that happen? Why am I doing this to that person? Why am I feeling this way? Why did they do that to me? And then when you understand why, you understand the situation truly, not subjectively. Because some people are like, oh, they did that because, and they try to give them their own, like, spin on it. And if it comes from a negative place, then you're a demon. Like, I'm not even talking to you. But, you know, if you look at the why from a compassionate place, like, yo, they're trying to hurt me, but, you know, they're hurt. They don't know how to deal with the pain that they're like, you know, that's overcoming them right now. You know, anger. There's no such thing as hate or anger. You know what I'm saying? Or being mad, because all that comes from being hurt. All of it. You're hurt in some way, and you can't deal with that hurt, so it makes you angry.
Mm-hmm.
And so anybody who's angry, you have to look at them with compassion, as if they're your child, because, like, oh, they don't understand, so I'm not going to reciprocate that hate, because I understand. And so I'm here to understand for them. And so I show them that compassion. I fight fire with compassion, with water. Like, you put out fire with water, you don't put out fire with fire. And so just remain compassionate when you look out into your, first of all, it's your subconscious. You had a lot of deep-seated issues within your subconscious. And so you have to heal yourself. Because your subconscious is your child, is the child mind that you never really paid attention to. Growing up, your child wanted to be free. And, you know, it was bombarded with all this lower self shit and evil, you know, living backwards. And so now you have to look at your subconscious as a child and be compassionate for it and care for it and be loving to it. And that's just the truth about it.
Yeah, I want to make a point on freedom. Freedom can have different connotations. But I think what it really means to be free is to know that I can't have anything because I am everything. To be free is to let things come and go because I am everything. I'm everything and nothing. It's not a matter of I can just do whatever I want to do, because that kind of freedom is really cancerous thinking when it's I'll just do whatever I want to do with no consequences. I'm not, you know, in any sort of give and take relationship with nature and what I really am. So to be free is to actually be in a balanced equilibrium with the flow of the universe. To let things come and go. And to be in the rhythm of that. So I wanted to make that clear for myself.
Right.
Beautiful.
Right.
I love myself.
And I want to bring this up because, like, this is something I ran into in my past life. So it was like I had a past life tell me before I made my journey into the unknown, you're blessed. Okay, that's a little crap. If you're in Babylon, there's no way you can be blessed. There's no way you can be blessed living backwards. Okay, so it's like, and plus I looked up. I was like, what I told her, I was like, define blessed for me. I was like, define blessed, you know, and she couldn't even define it, that, you know. So I was like, I looked it up, and it was like to reside in the kingdom of heaven, you know. To be blessed is to have constant communion with God, which is to live in tune with nature, you know. So I knew I wasn't blessed in Babylon, you know. That's what fueled me to make this journey, you know. So this guy's sleeping. Any more to add?
I mean, just apply the knowledge.
Right.
Honestly, that's all we have to say. And you know, I just, again, I give my praise and respect to the Honorable Master Chief Elio the Christ for sparking my mind truly and giving me everlasting life. Because without him, without that reflection of myself, I wouldn't be where I am today. Well, now.
Facts.
And I love myself.
Facts.
I love my.
I love myself. Yep. Peace.